Well, our political correspondent Carl Dinnan is backstage at that debate. And Carl, before we get on to the tone and the content of it, there's been some disruption, hasn't there?
Yeah, that's right. Just a few moments ago, the debate was taken off air after what sounded like a large crash in the studio. And the last thing we saw was Liz Truss looking very concerned. I have just been told that somebody has been taken unwell in the studio. It's not one of the candidates, but somebody else in the studio has been taken unwell, and that's all that we can say at this stage. The debate has been paused while that situation is resolved. Up until that point, the two candidates were notably more civil towards one another than they were certainly in last night's debate. Very much the argument is still about the economy, though. You heard in Anushka's report when Rishi Sunak offered Liz Truss happy birthday wishes. He then went on to talk about the economy. When Liz Truss said, "Thanks, I've had lots of cake and lots of presents," she then went on to talk about the economy. That is where the debate is still very much centred in all of this. And that hasn't really changed, which is potentially going forward a problem for Rishi Sunak, because as far as we can tell from the polls, he is some way behind. Now, his team dispute the accuracy of the polls, but they would have to be very wrong indeed for him to be close enough to win this. But at the moment, that is all set to one side, to be perfectly honest, as we try and work out just what has happened in that debate room, which is some way away from where I am here. So it's quite hard to tell exactly what's going on, just that someone has been taken unwell and the debate has been suspended.
OK, Carl, for the time being, thank you very much indeed for that. And we will, of course, bring you news on that as it develops. Hello and welcome back. Now let's get an update on that TV debate between Rishi Sunak and Liz Truss, which you remember was taken off air just a short time ago. Talk TV's output was halted after what's been described as an incident in the studio. And our political correspondent Carl Dinnan is still in the spin room at that debate in West London. Carl, what happened? What do you know?
Well, Mary, we now have a statement from Talk TV. I'm just going to read it out. It's very short. It said Kate McCann, who was the presenter of the debate, Kate McCann fainted on air tonight, and although she is fine, the medical advice was that we shouldn't continue with the debate. We apologise to our viewers and listeners. We were, I suppose, half an hour, a bit more into the debate when it suddenly stopped. At the time, Liz Truss was talking. We can see the pictures of that now, and she was clearly very, very shocked when there was a crash in the studio, and then the Talk TV team cut away from the debate to a card saying that there had been disruption. It now turns out that, as I say, Kate McCann, very experienced political journalist who was chairing the debate, collapsed in the studio. She is fine now. They've had an unlucky day. There were actually supposed to be two presenters, but the other one, Harry Cole, the political editor of The Sun, was taken down with a positive COVID test today, so he had to bail out, and Kate was left to do it single-handed. But she is, we understand, fine.
OK, Carl Dinnan, thank you for that, and that is at least good news. Now, best wishes go to Kate McCann, of course. OK.